Hi, guys. All right, guys. So we're back to talk about BravoCon. And before we do, oh my God, we are so excited to be back from Vegas. And I wanted to bring Theo here because I posted a link inside of the live chat talking about Sundays for dogs. So you guys know we have 3 dogs. It has been the most amazing. I feel like the holidays are always for us, but they can also be for our fur babies too, and even the naked cats. But for this, we just changed to Sundays for dogs. So you guys can go check them out. Absolutely amazing. Softer coats, better stool, just better for everything. And their attitudes are better. Look at this guy. He's so happy. So you guys can go to Sundays for Dogs / Up and Adam. He just wants to get back to his food. His Sundays for Dogs / Up and Adam for 50% off. Now, in the meantime, we have so much BravoCon to talk about and also hot, messy topics. So with that, let's welcome the husband, Jason. Hello.
Hi. My God, I'm struggling.
Oi.
Like majorly struggling.
It has been insane.
It's been, I feel like I've been hit by a truck and then like I stood up and I got hit by 2 more trucks. That's how I feel today. Then that's like, what time did we get back? Like really, really late Monday night.
I think it was, I don't even think it was, no, it was technically Tuesday morning.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
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 We got back Tuesday morning. I think that we finally got to bed at like 2:30. And then we ended up, like, I went to go work out at 7:30 and then start the day. And then you were like doing stuff around the house, getting everything back in order. It's just been insane.
What a journey though. I feel like this BravoCon every year keeps topping itself in some way, shape, or form. You know, I feel like this year it was, such great energy all around with despite a few moments, which we'll get into in our members. But yeah, it was a great BravoCon. The energy was just 100%. I feel like it was so much more organized than it ever has been. I feel like the talent was excited to be there again. We have so much to get into. I know we're going to cover a lot of BravoCon today, but also on Hot Messy on Friday as well. And then we will be putting up our members only in the next day or so. So we're just finishing recording that because, guys, I know you're waiting patiently, but we have so much footage. It's not even funny because it wasn't just me who was there. We had a whole team of content people. So we were like kind of, yeah.
Can we just give them some teasers as to what's to come in the members only?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. If you guys haven't joined members, I'm telling you, you're not going to want to miss the behind the scenes stories. So we ended up switching our hotel, actually gratefully so, due to a circumstance that just put us in the same hotel at the Four Seasons in Vegas with all of the talent. And they only have like, what is it? 3 floors? 3 floors?
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
So we were like right in the mix of everything. And just to give you guys a little behind the scenes, we ended up making really great friends with the Miami ladies. I got to see Sheena. We'll talk about that on members only.
Yes, we will.
I got to see Whitney and Heather and Mary, which, by the way, the fucking trailer, you guys, dropped for the HBO TLC documentary, The Cult of Mary Cosby. It dropped while we were in the air going to BravoCon. And I looked at Jason and I'm like, is this for real right now?
It is for real. You know why? Because they were trying to have a moment. So I think that TLC, HBO, when Adam goes to do these things, okay, guys, you have to realize that he doesn't know what the big picture of it is. Like, for example, what was it? Housewife and the Hustler that was on Hulu. I know you did some stuff for it. Emily D. Baker did some stuff for it. We don't know what the whole outcome is going to be or what their shtick is going to be or what their angle is going to be. But since Adam was the only person who came close to Mary's parents who interviewed them, that's why Adam was there. So this is not Adam's documentary. He's not coming for Mary. And I really thought TLC thought this would be the most talked about thing at BravoCon, and it just was not. It like went over everyone's heads. I think they answered 2 questions about it the entire time, and nobody.
Well, I heard behind the scenes that they weren't allowed to ask questions about the documentary to Mary.
Oh, the press wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't.
But that doesn't stop fan questions. That does not
Right.
stop the fans. Like, because the fans, they don't vet the questions very well, which I love, because you never
Oh
know
my
what the hell
God.
they're gonna come, what's gonna come out of their mouths, right? But when the
Yeah.
fans get up there, they might even say, "Oh, I'm gonna ask Mary about this," and then they're gonna be like, "What do you think about the documentary?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They have such a they just want to go up there and have a moment. And there were some questions that the fans were giving that I was like, "Holy shit!" And then I'm turning around, I'm looking at some of the Bravo people that we're with, like the bigwigs and the press people, and they're like, and then some of them are like, "Yes, answer this question," because it just drives the show. It just drives the interest, you know?
Well, and I did also want to add into that. You guys, I literally got like accosted at the lobby bar. So that was fun. I was called every name in the book. I was called over like, "Hi, let me introduce you to my friend, so and so." And I was like, "Hi, nice to meet you." And they're like, "Up and Adam." And I said, "Or just Adam, you know?" And they're like, "I fucking hate you." And I was like, "Okay,
People are
okay."
people are wild. You know what's it's interesting too, and we're gonna get into this on members only as well. I
Yeah,
was so it was actually that was a really bad circumstance, like not a great
that was one of four.
well, they okay, 4, but we had hundreds of positive things that
Oh
were
my God, yes.
amazing. And I do have to say, like, I am eyeing every single content creator
Can we
from
talk
this,
about
but
that for a second?
can
I was
we?
just Yes, I was just talking to okay, so I was talking to somebody on the phone just now. Jason knows who, but I'm not gonna name them. And they like run different podcasts and stuff. And Jason and I made like a very interesting observation from BravoCon. What's wild is behind the scenes, as far as like content creators, it's just Jason and I. Like, you don't see other content creators except for that one guy who does the impersonations,
Oh, yeah,
from
yeah.
Miami, and he
I
was
was
so
like, "Who
sweet.
is that? I recognize him."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does,
And then I
and he
put
was
2 and
with
2.
I think he was with Marisol, but he, like, always does, like, Alexia and Marisol and
Yeah.
Stephanie and even Captain Jason, apparently, but he was super, super cool. But as far as that, like, there's really no other content creators. It's just, like, a space for the talent, and it was interesting because, like, we stay back there. We kind of just, like, hang out with the talent if they need anything or if they just like want us to help them with content, whatever. It's more so just like these are our friends. So we're like there to help because their schedules are so busy. So we just do that. And it also provides perks. Like you get to run around with them and you get a totally different perspective than just being like, like a band holder who's like paying for a ticket, it's just a different experience. And doing that, we keep our mouth shut. We're just like more than happy to be there. And then when you go out into like the VIP lounges, which people pay for VIP, or the GA, which is like the bazaar, and you run into other content creators, I don't know like, did I miss something? Some of
I
these
don't know. I thought
egos,
the talent was on the stage.
some of the egos are like insane. Like some of the people that
Insanity.
we met, they were like, "Mhm, well,
Oh my god.
like, almost
Or
like we're so lucky to see them."
too good to even talk to people who recognize them who came up. I was flabbergasted because I think this has been a problem. And I was talking about this with Emily D. Baker, where we really think that social media and kind of that has ruined a lot of the stuff for the housewives. You know what I mean? And not in the sense of like talking about it or whatever, but I feel like some of the content creators think they are part of the show. You know what I mean? And it's just wild to me. I do have to say, before we get, I don't want to like point anybody out or say it was all these people. Ryan Bailey killed it this year, doing for
Yes.
Peacock. He's amazing. Emily D. Baker is like, everyone's coming up to her and everyone is just, "Oh my God, Emily, Law Nerds, Law Nerds." And she will sit there and talk to you for like an hour. She's like really
Oh,
cool.
you guys, I had to
Hmm.
usher, like, at least I say I had to usher. There was no ushering, by the way. I was like, I
No.
would be like, because Emily always BravoCons with us, but Jason was on a different schedule. So he was leaving maybe like 3 hours before us in the morning. Jason was always gone by like 6 or 7 a.m. And Emily and I were there about like 9 to 11
Whenever
a.m.
you guys came.
whenever we came. And I would be like, we would walk past and I'd be like, "Emily, we like, all right, let's go. We're going here." And somebody would stop her and she'd be like, "Hi." And she like gets into it. But that's something that I really appreciate about Emily, because she's not too good for anybody who appreciates what she does. She is going to give everybody the time of day. She loves all of the people who support her, and she supports them equally back. And she will afford anybody a conversation, even if we're like, I'm like, we are missing our time by like 2 minutes. She's like, it's okay, we will get there. And so
those are
sometimes
the
I would have
people
to
who
just like run
watch
off.
you and appreciate you, and and I thought that was great. Ryan was great. I want to say Kiki Monique killed the Miami panel, and she had a lot of fucking chaos around her. She was fun to watch. I was happy to see her, thrive in that. But yeah, some of the other content creators, I was shocked. I was like beyond. Like it's crazy to me because I've performed in the past as well on a stage in front of thousands of people a night. We had that kind of reaction at the stage door and stuff like that too. And you take your time with people who are literally coming to see you and like interested in you, but like it was, I don't know if it's because I come from hospitality as well, and it's just easier to deal with people like that, or maybe people are insecure in person. We got to talk. We'll talk. We had a big dinner full of creators. It was a TikTok dinner, and holy shit,
guys, members only. Enough.
We got to talk about that.
It was a TikTok dinner.
Yeah.
It was somebody who has literally eaten me alive, literally ripped me apart, read me for filth, attacked every facet of my life. And then we show up to a dinner where there's 8 people around a table, and lo and behold, I sit down, and who is sitting across from me? And I'm like, and I had to text Jason because Jason was sitting next to this person. And I was like, why do I know this person? And Jason, the people, they asked us to go around and introduce ourselves. So we did. And then there was an introduction. And I was like, oh, okay. I know exactly who this is. Members Only is about to be fucking lit. You guys have no idea. And then so much. Like from a weird drunk big man with his little belly hanging out, passed out in front of our front door of our hotel door, like on Sunday, to awkward interactions with Heather and Whitney and Mary and Sheena, to having weird people come up to me in the bathroom and like scream at me, to actually being screamed at the bar, but also incredible interactions in repairing relationships with certain housewives and other Bravo celebrities. This was a total experience. And if you would have asked me before we went to BravoCon what this was going to look like, yeah, this was not on my bingo card. I think you're muted.
It was not. But I do want to say, guys, as we go through, we're going to jump through some topics from BravoCon. But if you guys want to ask a question in the live chat, make sure you put a Q right before it so we can start and get to that at some point during the live. And oh my God, Freddie, this is horrible. I'm sorry we didn't get to see you. Like we were everywhere all the time. I feel like, well, especially me, I was going from one place to another like the whole day. And I was looking around for anybody I knew at any time just to say hi really quick. I'm so sorry we didn't get to see you.
I was actually looking for Freddie too. And I looked in the VIP lounge and also at the bazaar, and every single day, like when I was going out, I mean, I'm not going to lie, there were like maybe 3 people I was looking for. And then I ran into like a bunch of people who I was definitely not looking for.
Of course,
but
that's how it goes,
and members only again, you guys. But let's just get into it. By the way, Reality Diamond Freddie, I'm sad I missed you both at BravoCon. Thank you so much for the super chat. Literally just got back home. Freddie, get some sleep, man.
And that's a long flight, so
it's a long flight. I think where we can start with this is, I know that we've been talking a lot about the Joe Gorga, Melissa Gorga, Teresa, and Louis of it all. That is not them. But what I wanted to say was every single press question this weekend for them was about this reconciliation. And I think that Andy Cohen's answer to all of this was very telling. People were asking like, okay, well, does this mean like they're both going to be coming back? And Andy seemed very annoyed. He's like, look, we've done the same song and dance so many times. We're not putting cameras on them. Like, we want them to do this organically. We're a little over it. We're kind of jaded by it. And so we're going to let them deal with that on the side, and while we still kind of figure out what the casting is going to be. I think that says a lot, you guys. Like they're not interested. This would have been a great TV moment, but Bravo's like, fuck this. We've done this
you know
for
what I
years.
have to say is, this whole thing started on the show, right? So
Mhm.
it's only great if we can get some reconciliation on the show as well. But I think it's like Andy said, it's too little too late, and it has to be organic. But I do have to say, just from like the parties we were at and the places we were at, when you saw them together, they were together a lot. It seemed like they were both trying, So who knows? Who knows?
I want to say I'm gonna make an observation, and you can lean into it however you want.
I was just trying to be careful. So I don't know. You can tell me your observation.
After our dinner with TikTok, we went to Margaret Joseph's soiree party, and there was a lot. I mean, there were a lot of content creators there. There were a lot of TikTokers. There were a lot of housewives, Melissa and Joe, and all of the sisters. By the way, I'm an honorary member of Melissa. I am like the last sister that you guys didn't know. I'm like the Quasimodo sister because they're all stunning, and I'm like over here like. But getting
I'm Melissa's sister.
Meeting them, I was like, oh my God, I'm a Gorga. And they're like, no, honey, you're a Marco. And I didn't even know that was like the last name, like what do they call it? The maiden name. And they were so much fun. We took photos together, and they said, you're always so sweet to our daughter. I love Joe and Melissa. And talking to them, and I'll just be very honest with you guys. I'm not defending anybody. Talking to them, Joe had such an excitement about this reconciliation. Like it seemed like there was like a weight lifted off of his shoulders. Like he was just excited. Like, man, my kids can talk to her kids can talk to my kids. Like there's not this weird, awkward rift. Like I'm excited to kind of get to a place again. And Melissa, I didn't really get to have that same conversation with her. But I think from the gist of the conversation that I did have was, if her husband is happy, she is happy, and she is going to support whatever makes him happy. So if being associated with his family and kind of like putting this rift behind him, if that changes things and it makes him like it fills his heart, she is all for it. And that is a wife and a husband. Like I mean, honestly, I want to grow up to be just like that. Really, like in that 100%. Relationship, and it's so
you
sweet.
Could see it too. You could see them all float around with kind of like a weight off their shoulder. Even Gia talked about it to everybody, backstage, to the press, to everyone about it. She just had a little more oomph. You know what I mean? And I like when she talked about it, she got excited. You know what I mean? So I feel like there is something there, and I'm excited to see if that can continue. By the way, speaking of Marge's event, just really quick, this stuff is so good. If you guys are not drinkers, it's a non-alcoholic beverage.
I love. Oh my God, too.
So good, so good.
I know. I kept drinking,
and I love me some alcohol, so I'm not. This is great.
It's non-alcoholic.
Really, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I love alcohol, and this is a really great alcohol-free.
I know they had them out, and I had like 3, and I think it was Emily who was like, enough. Like these are for everybody. And I was like, oh my God, I thought it was just like grab and go. So I kept going up to the bar, and I think that they were actually like put out as like product placement, and I just kept grabbing them, but like I love them. So I just kept drinking them, but whatever. Sorry, Marge. I love you. But going back to it too, I was in the elevator, and again, I'll elaborate more on members only, but when I was in the elevator going to day 2 of BravoCon, I got in, and the elevator door opens, and it was Gia and her boyfriend Christian, and she goes, wait, why do I know you? And I was like, oh God. And I was like, your stepdad hates me. And she's like, what's your name? And I said, Adam. I've been Adam. And she goes, oh. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, to be honest with you, you've always been so nice to me. And I was like, so you don't hate me? That was so nice. Like she had her own opinion, because like, especially like the Jersey Italians, like they stick with the family. You don't go against the family, So I was a little nervous about that. I saw in the questions really quick, guys, I'm going to answer this. Did you talk to Teresa? I avoided Teresa like the plague. I'm not going to lie. I did it purposely. I didn't want to talk to Teresa only because Teresa will always defend her husband. You know, there were the video that came out about Louis where he was arguing that it was AI. Chrissy Balls came out with different evidence that it potentially was not AI, where it was potentially mentioned in court 6 years ago. So there were so many things, but of course I've talked about these things, and I received an email from Louis, and of course Teresa is going to be privy to all of this information. So I didn't think it was appropriate to just like walk up to her and be like, "Hi," because at the end of the day, like what am I looking for other than like a big fat fuck off, you know? And
Yeah.
Jason
No,
and I were
100%.
yeah. Jason and I were sitting there with Emily D. Baker, and we were talking to Dolores about her engagement ring, and we're like, "Oh my God, you look beautiful. You look like you're glowing. Your ring is stunning." And Louis was passing by, and he clocked me, and I was sitting in between Emily,
As he does every BravoCon.
as he does every BravoCon. I keep on forgetting what he said. He like came over and he said, "Adam," and like grabbed my hand. What did he say?
He said, Adam, good to see you, buddy. Like just like that. Really, honestly, like he's not going to come over and be an asshole. You know, he's really not. And
No, but
I
it was
do have
like,
to
"I
say,
see
out
you."
of every content creator that's covered this video, this AI / reality video, whatever it is, we've been very graceful in the way we've done that. You know, so I mean, I know he gets upset at us, but at the same time, you need to like watch what other people are saying because it's not good.
You know what's funny too is I heard this so much from housewives during this weekend, and other Bravo celebrities. They said it's wild because I feel like you're like one of the most fair people, and you're always like presenting what is out there on like other publications. Like I never leak anything, you guys. That's how we maintain our relationships. That's why we're the only ones who are like hanging out with the people. But that's how we maintain our relationship. So I'm never your leak, by the way, never. And when it comes to stuff that comes out, I always present it and then I say my opinion. But most importantly, I end off every video asking what your opinion is and like what you think about, like, what are our thoughts as a community, as the Addams family. I never
Absolutely.
just go in there and be like, "Can you guys believe this? Like, fuck this person. My God, what a monster." Like, I don't do that.
But other
So
people do.
other
So
people
that, you
do.
know, and then they make other people riled up and angry. That's the thing too. I think, you know, instead of coming to so many judgments about people all at once and getting very aggressive like a lot of people do, because a lot of people really, I just cannot believe so many people had the balls to come up to us and say things, you know, like the mean ones. And I'm like, are we in a society now that you can just think you can say whatever you want? Because like, you know, my fists are ready. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
I
no,
can't believe it.
and I'll talk about this again. I just want you guys to go to members because this is why we're doing
Yeah,
members.
we're
But
gonna talk about that
I,
100%.
I'll talk about this. But my
Little 2
scariest
T's in a
moment,
pod producers or whatever they are.
yeah, my scariest moment though was I had this pretty large man. I was in the bathroom alone and he was washing his hands and he said, "Why do I know you?" And I was like, "I don't think we know each other." And I went to the urinal, but the urinals, like if you guys have been in a men's restroom, they're exposed. It's not like a stall. And I went to the urinal and he put two and two together as to like our channel and stuff like that. And he disagreed apparently with a lot of what we say. So he came behind me, but like towering over me, like much bigger than me, like just telling me how much he hates me and like the stuff. And when I tell you like the level of anxiety that I had, like I did not sleep that night. My heartbeat was going like this all night. And Jason was like, "You need to get some sleep." And I was just like, I was so stressed out. It was, I've just never been in a situation like that because I was sitting there peeing, which is so graphic, but like I was sitting there and I was like trying to be done to get out of that situation because I thought I was going to get punched in the back of the head. Genuinely, I thought I was going to get punched in the
But
back of
that's
the
the
head.
thing. That's what I'm talking about is why do people listen? This is all entertainment. It's not that deep, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Even
that's what I said.
our conversation, this is fun. And I'm gonna say this again for the 500th time. This is a book club. We're all reading the same fucking book, and we're coming back to talk about different excerpts and things that happen in the book. And it's just a fun kind of way to be. But people get really deep in their feelings about this kind of thing. And that's why I'm like, is there something wrong with society right now where we've forgotten we can be team this or team that or have fun, but when does it get so aggressive? Like when do you cross the line of oh, I'm just an asshole. I'm not someone who just enjoys talking about it. You and I differ in opinions every fucking day,
Yeah.
especially on hot, messy topics. We're always like having the wrong or the opposite opinion. You know what I mean?
Well, and
So
this
like,
is
okay, but I'm still like married to you. Like
well,
there's
no,
some
but I mean,
middle-aged big guy coming in the bathroom who's like so hurt about like some shit you said about his not even friend housewife. It's very weird. It's very weird to me.
I mean, it was very bizarre. But going
Yeah.
back to like the Louis and Teresa thing, guys, I'm just gonna give you my honest perspective on it. It seems like it's genuine. Obviously, we have watched this family for a long time. There is a lot of hurt. There's a lot of pain. If they have, in fact, decided to move forward and put all of that behind them and move forward with a clean slate, I think that there's hope for the family. As long as somebody does not bring something up from the past, my best advice would be stay away from alcohol, because I think that if there's any alcohol and sprinkle cookies and panoli cookies and some shit going on, like a holiday dinner can go really fucking left for this family. Like maybe stay away from holiday dinners, because it could just be like, well, Joe, you remember when you did this, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then it could go backwards. So I get why Bravo doesn't want to touch it. We're gonna leave it alone. But I think that as far as right now, from what Jason and I could see, it seemed like it was pretty solid. Yeah. Mute.
What I want to say too, being up pretty solid, I think we have like a holdover for a second until Jersey decides to start filming before they start getting it together. Rhode Island looks amazing.
Yeah.
And
Oh
one
my
of our
God.
writers, or did I do that article? I can't remember on the site. We were talking about that. We were introducing some of the cast and stuff like that. It just looks wealthy. It looks fun. And even Dolores said, these girls remind her of when they first started. They're green. They're not really into social media. Their beef is real. They all look like Dolores, by the way, like every single one of them.
Can I also just add, while you talk about this, you guys, if you didn't see Rhode Island, first of all, it was amazing. I just got tagged in a photo post from one of the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. It was really, really good. And I was interested to see, because we were talk about the press day where we saw Lisa Vanderpump and we saw, like Caroline was with Denise and all of that. And I'm going to pull up this photo.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, here, I have something to talk about. I can bring this up right now. So, as you guys know, I was Camp Stanberry. We were helping Caroline, Larsa Pippen, and Stephanie Shojai.
Camp Stanberry, that's
funny. Yeah, right. She'll love that. With their content. So we brought a team, or Adam and I brought a team of content people, and we killed the content. I don't know if you guys have seen on social media. We have some amazing, amazing content. But when my worlds collide, this is so interesting. This is Caroline and Lisa Vanderpump saying hi to each other. And I had to remind Caroline of where I met her back in like 2018 or something like that. And it was at Pump at, what was his name? Bobby, who is the manager of Lady Gaga. It was his birthday at Pump. And I met her that night and we had such a fun night, and then never saw her again. And then when we started talking to her again, and she came on the podcast and stuff like that, I was like, wait, I know you. And it wasn't until this trip that we put 2 and 2 together. Isn't that funny?
Well, so, okay, this is what I was going to say.
But I love this, by the way.
Do you know what I'm pulling up?
No, I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I was going to show you guys. So we're sitting there and we're talking to Dolores, or actually I was talking to Denise and Caroline and everybody else. And this was at the press thing. And Dolores goes, Adam, come over here. And like, you guys have to remember too, Polly and Dolores, they have a very, very good mutual friend with us. His name is Chef Joey. His name's just Joey, but we call him Chef Joey. And
yeah, he's like,
great
though. They have a podcast as well.
Yeah, he's like a chef to the stars, you guys, like Brad Pitt, like crazy, crazy names. And so
Dolores for like 15 years.
Yeah,
we're old.
And she was like, you have to meet this guy. And I was like, okay, his name is Jack. I'm like, hi, Jack. Didn't know who Jack was. Apparently, Jack, he is a gay man who has a husband, I believe. and he's going to be featured on every single episode of Real Housewives of Rhode Island. So this is him with Dolores and Sonia, him with Alexia, him with Dolores and some of the ladies. Of course, like you see like Kathy and then Jen Fessler. And then I made the cut. And when I met him, he was like, hey, you know, like, it's so good to meet you. And like, I've seen your stuff. And I was like, wait, so you're going to be like featured on every episode? And he said, yeah. And I'm like, wait, it's Housewives. Like, are you? And I didn't want to ask too many questions. And I kind of caught myself. He didn't say that he couldn't answer any questions. I just caught myself because I'm not the person who's ever going to put talent on the spot in that situation and sort of like make them feel like they've been compromised or like walk away and think like, my God, should I not have said that? I never do that to people. I'll find out, or else I'll find out like low key behind the scenes, and I won't share it until it comes out. That's just me. But yeah, apparently this man right here is going to be featured on every single episode with his husband. And it was nice to meet him.
Can I just say, there's room for this? And I'm only going to say that because if you're backstage and you're with all the friends of the Housewives, and we met some amazing people who I won't name, from Dolores, a great couple, Dolores's friends, dressed to the T, knows everything. They're in the mix. It's like,
by the way, you say dressed to the T. Look at Jen Fessler's slippers.
Hey, listen, they were walking around in heels all day long. We'll go into that on members. We'll talk about how much you have to put on throughout the day. But I was just so impressed. I think there's room. You know, it started on Housewives when you had Dwight and stuff on Atlanta, but I think there is room to add a gay couple to Housewives. I really do. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I really think there is, if it is organic, if they're in the mix, you know, I can tell you what, I feel like Adam and I have got a lot of shopping to do and a lot of catch up on fashion because
you guys, can I say also,
everyone was dressed to a T.
I showed up. Dolores has these two amazing friends. My God, they're like richer than God. And they have such amazing fashions. Like, one's a doctor. I don't know what the husband does per se, but like that's interior designer. There was so much happening, so that there's no disrespect with that, but like the fashions that they would bring every day, and it was like 4 different outfit changes. I'm like, fuck you guys. Like, this is how I showed up with like a big chunky coat and like black on black on black. And I show up and Jason's like, really? That's like what you decided to wear? And they walked up to me and they're like, oh my God, babe, like your coat is everything. Like, you just have to put it off the shoulder. And Jason was like,
it's my coat. That's my jacket.
I know, but Jason was like, oh, shut up now. And I was like, that's right, bitch. How about that?
Okay.
No, but it was actually funny. It was like the best timing for them to come up and say that. Because I was like, oh no, did I wear something? Because I was sweating my ass off. It was fucking hot, you guys. It was hot. Okay. So we're going to move on from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. We can't just sit here and spend all of the time with them. The next thing that I wanted to talk about, which was really, really disturbing. I don't know if you guys paid attention to this during the weekend, but we had Sutton, Stracke, and also Kathy Hilton. Their homes got robbed while we were at BravoCon. Did you guys hear about this?
Crazy.
So I want to be clear. I think that the fans were a little mean in this moment. A lot of people were saying, well, what do you expect? You got robbed because you were posting that you were at BravoCon. No,
well, I mean, everybody knows that every single Bravo celebrity is going to be at BravoCon from November whatever to November whatever. Like, that's just how it works, you know? And usually people, I mean, Rick was home at Kathy's house, right? And I think Sutton had people there too. You know, like, if you come to Rob our nothing house, we have like 15 people staying here all the time. So good luck. And 5 animals who will tear you down. But
I mean, if you rob our house, you're literally just taking naked pussies and 3 dogs. Like, there's nothing to rob.
What was the thing back in the day when those kids ran around in what, 2008 and robbed like Lindsay Lohan's house and Paris Hilton's house?
Oh, that was again? The bling ring.
The bling ring.
Yeah.
So it's so funny because everyone, and I guess it's because of how the Dorit situation went down where there was questionable things from everybody, and I don't want to take that away from anything. I'm just saying there were some things that were questionable, you know. So everyone compares a robbery or something to that, like the convenience of it and whatever. And then, you know, now with Wendy Osefo, you're like, well, we can see why you might lie, but you know, there are people who are waiting. It's very easy to find addresses to people's homes, especially
I mean,
in
it's
LA.
public.
You can go buy a $15 celebrity map or whatever the hell. They really are real, which is I don't know if there's anything that they can do about it, but it's just kind of out there. And this, I feel so bad for them, you know,
I
because
mean,
you don't think you have your privacy, your what,
let
and
me
they
just
live in
say,
neighborhoods where it is private. Like it's very hard to get to these houses.
I just have a
Sutton's, Kathy
question.
Hilton's especially.
Who the fuck are these people? Like, think about it. Mary from Selling Sunset, Dorit Kimsley, Kyle Richards, Sutton Stracke, Kathy Hilton. Like, you had, but this is like, these are the ones that are being publicized in our world that we know about. But you guys, if you think about it, there are so many other people, and it's always like this group of three. They're jumping the fences. They're watching very closely. They're getting in, they're getting out, and they're not getting caught. They have not gotten caught one time. Like they put the bling ring to shame. It's almost like if you guys remember when Kim Kardashian got robbed, they called themselves the something Panthers, I think the Pink Panthers or something. And this was this like group of old Frenchmen that literally robbed, you know, bound and tied and gagged Kim Kardashian and stole millions of dollars of jewelry off of her. And of course, we saw the documentary of it. But from that perspective, they got caught. These guys are not getting caught. So really, at the end of the day, you're dealing with professionals. And more so, I'm wondering if we're putting the FBI on Porsha Williams inside of a fucking Delta flight for apparently slapping some Karen for acting like a dickhead, where is the FBI and where is like everybody else when it comes to these people who are doing are they just that skilled? Are they like special ops? Is there something that we don't know about them? I cannot wait until they get caught because this is not a normal person, you guys. This is not somebody who's just decided I'm going to go rob houses. This is a particular group of people with a particular set of skills. Like this is not the way that they have the ability to get in, get out, get what they need, and they know how to execute this. It's special, right? Don't you think?
It's intense. Toaster JB says Sutton tells it's easy to get to. It's right off on Beverly Glen.
Yeah.
Listen, Beverly Glen, a lot of people live on Beverly Glen. Who's the guy from the Fast and Furious? He lives on Beverly Glen. I point out his house all the time. Yeah. Remember when we had people visit? It's so funny when we had friends and family visit LA. I was like, this is his house. This is someone else's house. This is Muhammad's house that he's building that's about to be torn down because he didn't get the permits, but it looks like huge. It was that Starship
I don't think
house.
they ever
remember?
tore it down.
Oh, I think they did. No?
Did they?
I don't know. It was massive. So that's Gigi and Bella's dad, Muhammad Hadid, built this massive house. And even though they have like security and stuff in these neighborhoods, it is pretty attainable, but like, God, you have to have the balls to get back there. When I first moved to LA, I lived in Bel Air, not the Bel Air. I'm talking about like on top of Roscommar, which is a little more like normal-ish houses for Bel Air, I guess, not for the rest of the world. But I lived in my uncle's guest house, and that one night I jumped the fence because I forgot my key. And like security was there in 2 seconds. So I don't know how these people are getting into the neighborhood and like, you know, like trying to get into these homes. It's wild.
It's definitely wild, you guys. I mean, at the end of the day, like when people are sitting there making fun of like Kim Kardashian, if you guys saw her when we went to New York City, the Sirius XM event, I don't think I'm exaggerating, Jason. Like if you think that I am, then let me know. But I believe it was about like 13 security guards.
Oh my God. At least they all had like a separate pin. It looked like they were working for the fucking CIA.
But they were all for her. Like
they were
everybody
all
else,
for her.
They had their own, like what was given to them, like the rest of the people. But then for her, it was like, think about like having 13 people at a party, you guys. Think about like how many people that is. And these guys looked scary as fuck. They looked like from the movie Taken. They look like these villains. And they like, if you looked at them, they'd be like, "What's up, bro?" And you like look away and you're like, "No, you're like 7 feet tall and you look like you would like break my every bone in my face." Like you look away, like you don't want to make eye contact.
Wild.
They were scary as fuck. And so people were like sitting there making fun of her for having so much security around her house in Calabasas. No, good for her. She has that shit on lock. It's like
Well,
Alcatraz.
even when you where they are in Calabasas, it's very hard to A, find that neighborhood. B, get into it. It's gated. Then they have another separate gate for that. It's
but they
like
have the hills on the sides that's where people come in.
I know, but then you have to hike that shit. That takes like
people
hours,
will.
days. Like what are you doing? It's
But
weird.
people will. They're weird.
That's the problem in America. Let me just say that. Like that.
No.
That is the problem with America and society in this moment. It's like those people who are coming up to you on a smaller scale saying what they think so aggressively. It's like it's just content. It's just fun. You know, this isn't that deep. And the thing is like this moves so fast too. It's like what we were talking about last week is not what we're talking about this week. Right?
Right.
And things change. And then when more information comes out about things, so does our perspective. So does our opinion. That's just what happens, you know?
Well, and then I also wanted to say really quick, you know, when it comes to Kathy Hilton, we know that Rick Hilton was at home. So thank God that he was not harmed in this.
Seriously.
Again, if you guys watched Members, you would see that I got to meet up with Kathy Hilton, and not meet up with, like, it wasn't some personal thing. It was like, I got to meet Nikki, got to see Kathy.
Can I describe this for you guys really quick if you're not members?
Please.
Okay. And you can see it in the video because Adam went live. He live streamed as much as he could behind the scenes. It's so funny. By the way, all the members are like, that wasn't enough. And guys, we haven't even gotten our content together.
You guys have no idea.
Just wait.
Those were like
nobody has access to the things that we got, and they're amazing. But anyway, going back to that, because I was right there for the whole thing too. I got to meet Kathy Hilton for the first time. She's like, "Oh, you're Jason," and I'm like, "Oh my god, who?" But when she introduced Adam she's like, "Do you know my daughter Nikki? This is Adam. This is Adam. Up and Adam. Don't you know Up and Adam?"
To Nikki's like, "I don't fucking know who you are."
She's like, "No, she did." She's like, "Oh my god, Adam." And then her publicist is like, "Yeah, Adam." I was like, "What is happening? This is insane."
She's like, I would never do another content creators thing, and probably, you know, like it. Honestly, it was so sweet, and I feel like there's a little bit of a backstory that I'm never really gonna share with that. But there was a moment, just to give you guys like a little bit of a tidbit. There was a moment where something was potentially going to come out against Kathy's family, and I thought that it was so not fair, and it was so calculated, and I got wind of it. And when I did get wind of it, and it was fake, by the way. But the thing is like when you put out fake stuff and you put it in front of millions of viewers, then now you leave it up to the perception of the viewers. And if you can squash it before it gets to the millions of viewers, then you don't even have to deal with the perception or trying to squash it. So when I got wind of this, I ended up immediately reaching out and just letting her know, like, hey, this is coming out and I don't think it's going to be good. And I think that she has been forever grateful and so sweet and kind to me because of that. And she is definitely she's not forgotten any of that. Because every time I see her, she's like, "Adam."
No, she's great. I do want to say it's because of our community and people in this community that you even got that interview to begin with, because you were always talking about it. And I think you got like a message back from her and she's like, "Yeah, just contact Emmy."
Yeah. And I was like,
and we're like, "Who the fuck's Emmy?" And then you were like, "Who is Emmy? Who is Emmy?" Someone sent it to her and she thought it was so funny because I think she did it on purpose. And then Emmy emailed us and that was it. That was
it. All right. But I am happy that Rick and Sutton, everybody's okay. And, you know, just to go back to Sutton really quick, it sounds like that she lost a couple handbags and jewelry. And I know that people are saying, well, she gets about $500,000 a month in alimony and all of the other things. It doesn't replace certain things because some things are also family things. And I get it. Like, okay, well, they're rich people, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't matter the same. So I just want to
of course,
say, like, let's exercise some compassion and kindness. I know that they have an abundance of everything. It doesn't mean that it doesn't affect them. All right, let's take some questions really quick. By the way, thank you. Welcome to members.
Welcome to members.
Is it Ma Petite Pomme?
Ma petite pomme.
Ma Petite Pomme? Jay Goldfarb 3 said, question, did Chef Ben and Kate C say that they were in a relationship? Chef Ben was trying to find a tall brunette.
He was trying to find a relationship. So that's going to be a negative.
We had a teensy little conversation, but no, you can tell that they're friends though. They're friends. They're friendly.
Oh yeah, of course. Hello.
They share a baby. That's wild to me. Was not really aware of that until Jason told me, but Jason is like the below deck guy. And no, he was looking for a tall brunette.
Share a tidbit? I introduced Caroline and Captain Jason, and where Caroline and Sergio are building their hotel in Bali, Captain Jason just lives like down the street. So I just want to say I take credit for that. They've connected.
Doesn't he have a resort in the Philippines, or is that in Bali?
It's in Bali. No. Oh, so I think he lives in Bali, but has a place in the I have no idea.
Doesn't the mother of his child and his child live in the Philippines?
Philippines, I believe, yeah.
And he has that's a resort that he owns.
I don't know.
And then he lives
all I know is Caroline's like, oh wait, take my number, get it. And I'm like, I'll just send it to both of you. Don't worry. You guys got it. Okay. Caroline's, who are you? And I'm like, that's Captain Jason. I know who Captain Jason is.
Oh my God. I saw Captain Jason so many times. I saw him after day 1. It was day 2. And he goes, guys, I walked down. I was like in my skivvies and like a little V-neck shirt, and I was ready to go. And I had sunglasses on, and like my hair looked like a cockatoo. And he goes, "You good, mate?" And I was like, day 1 got me, man. And he's like,
we saw everyone all the time. Captain Sandy, Captain Carrie, Captain Jason. They're lovely.
Oh, I love all of them. By the way, Captain Sandy and her wife Leah, you guys,
gold,
amazing,
gold. Those are gold people. Incredible. They're amazing. Absolutely.
Actually, every single captain that you see on Below Deck, even Captain Lee, he wasn't here, right?
I didn't see him. Did I think he was? Someone met him.
Did they?
Yeah. Did you also see what Kate said about Captain Lee?
No, what?
So they were asking her, I forgot who it was, ask if they like keep in touch or whatever. And she said, I think when you're doing something together, you're always keeping in touch, but I think when things like kind of drift apart and there's not much to talk about anymore, you don't keep in touch. It was a little shady, but like interesting. Very interesting.
It was interesting for me seeing Kate, because last year you guys, like when I saw Kate in the 2 T's in a Pod like suite, she was like, Adam, and I saw her multiple times this time. Like we were in the elevator at least like 3 times together, and just like going up and down and whatever. And like, that's what elevators do. I don't know. And when I would see her, when I would see her in the morning or at night, I'd be like, hi, good morning. And I would try to like sort of initiate a conversation. But to be fair, there was nothing that was offensive about the fact that she didn't really engage with me. There were other people like Jesse Solomon and Giudice and other people who were on the elevator with us, and she was talking to them. And once I got to BravoCon, I started realizing, because when I was walking in, she was always hosting a panel. So I think that her mindset was like total work in what she was doing.
Oh yeah,
because I've never had nothing like anything but like a very kind, great interaction with her. And in that moment I was like, did I do something? But also it's like, who the fuck am I? Like, she's not worried about me. Get out of my head. Like I'm thinking like, did I offend you in some way? I didn't offend her. She was busy. She was working.
No, they're busy, especially there.
So busy. Yeah. And I think that a lot of times though, people can't differentiate, and I'm happy that I was able to differentiate and not be like in my head thinking, oh my God, is she mad at me? Because at first, like I didn't know. It was different. But all right, guys. So happy Flipping Out is back. Are you guys going to cover Flipping Out? So
hold your breath. Hold your breath.
It is going to be called Still Flipping Out, Toaster. Guys, by the way,
we'll
400
see.
people in the room. Smash the like button. Show some love. Jeff Lewis had no problem pissing off Andy Cohen this weekend. That was interesting to me. I saw him in the bathroom. I was going to say hi. And then I heard him complaining that there was a panel. This was on Sunday. And he had, is it Shane?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had Shane with him in the bathroom and he was complaining about a panel. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like nobody showed up. So there was something that he was pissed off about. Like there was not a lot of people. Like kind of like
there's a lot. You know, I like Jeff Lewis. This is why I listen to his show, because it's just like funny and crazy. And also, by the way, we'll share. He said some other stuff to you, but we'll share that in members. It was all nice though, shockingly, like good. But you know, I don't know if you've listened to his show recently. He did call his lawyer, and he was having kind of like second thoughts about rejoining Bravo and if it was right for him. So
I'm going to shut this down. You explain this.
Yeah, for sure. So if you listen to his show, there were some clips that came out of his show saying that he was having second thoughts that Bravo was the right place for him. And if he should continue, that he called his lawyer. But at the same time, that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So I don't know. I hope it does, because I love that show. I love this show on Amazon, which was great. And then I saw someone's question in the live chat. I can't see Jenny coming back. No, I would never see Jenny coming back at all. You know, the whole reason Flipping Out started in the first place was because of Jenny. But when they started filming and stuff, it was Jeff who was like the TV guy. So that's how that all kind of came together. But I love that Jeff comes on stage and goes wild. I love that Jeff says things, because it just switches it up a little bit, you know, and makes you kind of think and change your perspective. But yes, very excited to see if it will come back. Still Flipping Out would be amazing. Like I said, everybody I think has been missing Flipping Out for a very long time. Speaking of OG Bravo, which is Flipping Out, Millionaire Matchmaker, the original $1 Million Listing, Workout with Jackie Warner, if you guys remember, the Rachel Zoe project. Toaster also says, did you meet Rachel Zoe? Yes, and she is lovely and looks just like she walked off the Rachel Zoe project in 2000, what was that, 10? 8? I can't even remember, but yeah, it was wild. So yes, Rachel Zoe is amazing. Tara says, are Fessler slippers from the 2T's hospitality suite? No, but there were slippers everywhere this year for people, which finally BravoCon got it right, because you have to remember that these ladies are wearing heels. All day long, walking from here to there, whatever. So they finally had slippers for them, which is great. Let's see what else. Well, Adam is busy. Any news about Flipping Out? Guys, go listen to Jeff Lewis's show. He will spill all of it as he does. As he does. Tara Leitner says, I'm surprised they didn't invite the Rhode Island women. Well, they didn't invite the new cast of Vanderpump Rules either. Remember, the show has not aired yet. So when the show airs, then we'll have stuff to talk about. But I think the only person who needed to be there this year for Vanderpump Rules was Lisa Vanderpump. We don't know the cast yet. Let's not introduce the cast to people yet until the show has happened. And I think that's the same formula for Rhode Island, because they'll be walking around and no one will know who they are. They're not going to have a panel, so there's no reason for them to be there until the show comes out.
Well, and I also think that too, I think that it was super expensive already to put all of these people inside of these hotel rooms. And then all of the hotel rooms offered a massive like $500 credit to all of the people who were there already. So if you think about it, them booking 3 floors already, and the 3 floors, like they were massive. It was like, it went in 3 different directions, you know? And if you think about
Vegas, it's the Mandalay Bay, basically. Like, so if you think about the Mandalay Bay, it's like where the elevators come up, you know, it's like any Vegas hotel. You have the 3 elevators, you come up, you can go 3 different ways down whatever branch of, you know.
Did you, by the way, when you spoke on Rachel Zoe, did you Are we saving that for members? The waking up of?
Oh yeah, let's save that for members. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna save that for members. But no, you guys are gonna love the members. It's gonna be fucking lit. But no, I think that the reason that they didn't have all of the extra cast members from Vanderpump Rules was because of the simple fact that they felt like there was no reason, since we didn't know them yet, even though
We don't know who they are. Like, why would you bring them?
In New York, they did have RHONY, like the new RHONY cast, but you guys have to remember too, they didn't have to put them up. It was in New York. The RHONY cast lived in New York, you know?
Yeah.
So they could just like pop in. And also, just to accompany that statement about Vanderpump Rules, I was sitting there on the last night, and I will definitely, again, elaborate on members. On the last night, we were sitting there with Emily and me and Jason, and we had food. We're sitting in the hotel lobby of Four Seasons. And as we were sitting there, Tom Sandoval and his girlfriend, Victoria Lee Robinson, and her parents decided to come over. And I won them over because at first they were like, the podcast that you did ruined Victoria's life. And I'm like,
no, Victoria did that to herself. We'll go into that on, we'll do that. I mean,
well, what I was going to say though was I thought it was a little comical that Tom said, can I just say something to you? And I was like, yeah. And he like grabs my glass of Prosecco and goes like this. And then like takes a bite of my food. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he goes, I just heard that they are all like acting like they're already celebrities. Like, I have never acted like I am a celebrity ever. And I was like, you just drank my Prosecco and you ate my food. What do you mean? Like, and he's like, and then he's looking at Emily and Jason and he's like, do you guys know that I grew up with this guy? And I'm like,
yeah, hello. I opened your fucking bar. Like, of course, it's wild. We have to get into that because there was a lot of things that came out about the Lindsay Hubbard thing, talking to both of them in the hallway, in the lobby of the Four Seasons. I'll tell you exactly why on members. I know exactly why, because we were part of something else that night too.
So I'm gonna play a clip for you guys. No. By the way, before we move on, I'm gonna play this clip just so you guys can kind of see or hear exactly what happened from somebody who knows.
Got broken into where she's in BravoCon.
No.
She said they stole a lot of my jewelry, all of my handbags.
No.
She's really upset.
Which house?
The one in Bel Air. She says,
on the main road.
Yes. She goes, I don't think it's time for me to do the show this week. She said, I'm not in a great place. Well,
No.
I totally understand. Absolutely. We will reschedule. Before we take.
All right. So
that's for Sutton.
That was for Sutton.
Sutton.
Then you guys know there was also more beef this weekend with Madison, LeCroy, and Silva. Madison and I was so happy. I'm going to be honest. This I don't have to say for members, but when we were living in Charleston, Madison was the one who convinced us to move to Charleston. We moved to Daniel Island. We bought our house there. Originally, we were actually supposed to be next door neighbors. The place next to her, it was a beautiful home on the outside. It was a shithole on the inside.
It looked gross.
It looked nothing like her house. And I
don't think anyone wants that house.
No, they were asking for $6,000 a month rent, unfurnished. And I was like, no. And Jason was like, absolutely not. So we decided.
It looked like one of the hotels it looked like the Venetian in Vegas. Like, no.
Yeah.
Those aren't my colors. We can't do that.
So people were wondering, and I've gotten a couple of DMs asking what happened with Madison and Cy. Well, if you guys didn't see, this is what happened. 10 seconds.
She's the meanest girl I've ever met.
It used to be you. It used to be you. Dang.
New York City.
Wow. Who is it? Ooh. Hold on a second. They got three. Dang. But I actually have to defend her because I mean, who am I? But I shared a car with her yesterday and she was nice to me, Madison. Okay. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Okay.
Okay. So Cy came back and she was like, first of all, I don't know you. You're very unmemorable. And Madison responded to her and said, guess you know who I am now, bitch.
Well, they did a panel. They did a panel 2 years ago together, sitting right next to each other. But that doesn't mean, like, listen, I'm
We
not
talked to
defending Sai
Madison
at
on the
all.
last day on the way to the
I
airport
know.
about this, by the
I
way.
know. But no, I'm not defending Sai at all, but I'm saying you're brand new talent, a brand new member of the talent to Bravo, right? They don't know everyone. These New York women like Erin Leachy, Sai, Jessel, they have so many other things going on. I don't think they kind of know what this is, but they kind of don't at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's always good because it is like a little club, a little sorority for the women, a little club for everyone else. It's always good to familiarize yourself.
Yeah.
And it's wild to me you don't remember sitting next to someone in a panel 2 years ago. It's wild to me you haven't seen Madison's face ever because she was all over with the A-Rod stuff, you know?
Not only that,
she's at the same events in New York that Sai goes to all the time.
I mean,
It just seems like a little.
I'm going to defend Madison here a little bit. What I was going to say is, guys, I made the mistake. I got word when Madison was actually pregnant with her baby Teddy. I got word from somebody who at the time I considered a friend, who told me that she was at the gynecologist and that there was like news that she was pregnant. And I texted Madison and I let her know. In that moment when I texted her, she wanted to know who was the one selling her out because she didn't know if it was somebody within the office. I didn't want to share who it was. I was just more so like proud and happy for her as a friend. And I really severed that relationship by doing so. I felt so bad for it. And being able to see her at the Four Seasons, I was able to tell her like, you know, I'm so sorry. And that is not what I meant. And I didn't understand the magnitude of what I said and how that affected you. And so being able to come
you were
back
trying to
from
get
that-
her, you were trying to get ahead of it, right? You were trying to give her the
heads up.
hey,
Right.
heads up, this is
but
happening. And then, you know, you have all these deals with all of these things that are about to come up too.
And that,
you know what I mean?
That's what I think that she was trying to protect.
I'll leave it up to Leva's friend.
But it also, can I say really quick, like it also was really, really nice to be able to have the conversation and like talk to her and apologize. And, you know, like Jason saw it. I was there. Jason was there. We were both in the conversation. And was it not the best? It was amazing.
We had so much fun. Do you know who I really like? Who I never spent time with in Charleston? Austin.
Oh my God. And
he's actually kind of fucking funny.
He said to me, he said, I thought that you were on Andrea. And I'm like, I don't know who the fuck that is.
Wait, what?
He said, I thought
you look like an Andrea.
I guess on Summer House or something. He's like, when I came up, he was like, Andrea. And he was like, I thought you were Andrea.
Oh, no, you're not.
No. And then I looked up the guy and I'm like, no, he has washboard abs. Like, that's definitely not me. I'm not him. And he was like, that's who I thought you were. And I was like,
oh, right. I think he's in the spinoff.
That's really nice. Thank you. I'm definitely not him. And I think that he's Italian. So no.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But
you know what? It's so funny too. Lindsay Hubbard ran over to Caroline, and we'll tell you all of these stories and members too, because we have videos and photos to go along with our stories. But Lindsay Hubbard ran up to Caroline and is like, "Oh my God, we're twins!" Blah blah blah. Oh my gosh! And Caroline was so nice. She's like, "Who is that?" I'm like, "Oh, I forgot. You don't get Summer House in Dubai. you don't get any other show in Dubai." It was wild.
Well, and then on top of that, you guys, and again, we'll cover all of this in members. Join members. I'm not joking. But when it comes down to it, the last thing that I wanted to discuss on this, because it's very public, was Porsha Williams ended up going and boarding her flight.
Yeah, holy shit.
Going back from BravoCon, and apparently the FBI got involved and they investigated this whole flight situation. So she was in first class, and I guess there was like a woman, some white woman who was like a Karen, who was like provoking her and trying to get her attention and trying to like call her all of these names. And from what they're saying, which I don't know, but a fan of Bravo, not a fan of mine. I don't have fans. I have friends, by the way. A fan of Bravo ended up messaging me and saying, Adam, like she hit her. And I was like, what? But then I was like, wait a minute. Porsha dragged the bitch behind the Christmas party. Like, dude, is she dragged any more off the... the reunion floor. Like, to think that she wouldn't hit somebody, like, it's not shocking.
Do you know how many people I wanted to hit when they came up and said their stupid shit to you? We didn't hit. Porsha didn't hit anybody.
Do you know how many people, like, can I say too, before we end up like kind of like closing this off and taking, like, if you guys have questions, please post them now with like a queue and we'll answer them. But before you do, I'm going to just say this. To have the audacity to come up to Jason and I in these situations, like these social situations where you know that there's so many Bravo eyes and like there's like talent and there's like NBC executives and presidents and people are like watching. They're in the same room. It's a tiny room and they're watching everything that we're doing. And those are the moments where you want to sit there and say, fuck you. I think you're a bitch. You're a pussy. You're this. And I'm like sitting there looking around like, I don't know what to do. And I actually told Jason at one point, I was like, did I not? Like, I'm going to go to the room. And Jason was like, where are you going? And I was like, I'm going to go to the room. I'm good. And he was like, no, everybody's like down here. This is what we came here for. And I was like, no, I'm like emotionally and like mentally, I'm spent. I'm going to gather myself for tomorrow and I'm good for tonight. And then I went back to the room, you guys, and I had the wrong room key. And so I called Jason. I was like, can you please
let me what is the key they gave us when you checked in? The amenity key where you could go use the amenities. You had the
amenity key, you guys. So I tried to get in the room and it was not working. And I was like,
I was so ready to come up anyway.
I was like, I don't know what to do. But you know, like there were a few moments, which again, I'll elaborate on, but like where people just were so happy to come up and tell me how much they hated me. And some, you know, like,
that's what I'm saying. We talked about this earlier. It's what is wrong with society where they feel like you can do that. Where like Porsha can't even get on a plane without you like going at her. It's
berating her,
right? Berating her, but it's entertainment. So your perception of what's happening, remember, we see half of what is filmed, not even half of what is filmed. We see a very edited version for a narrative and a storyline that drives the show, that drives the views, that drives the whatever. I don't know. That's weird. That's like if I was playing my role in Cirque du Soleil, the trickster, and people are like, I'm so mad at you. It's like, what? That's so weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's wild. But I don't know what in society gives permission for people to come up and berate other people, you know?
Well,
because usually if people don't like each other or things like Sheena, I was the first to see her at BravoCon, right? She looked at me and it was like, she was about to say something or talk and I didn't give her the time of day. Brock, the same thing. And, you know, I think if there was a conversation, we probably could have come to something, but I think we're past the conversation at this point, you know, but I don't know.
And I walk past.
I feel like it's better to have a conversation first than start just like yelling at people like that.
Well, and I walked past Brock, walking from the elevator, and I was going to get coffee, and he walked past and he goes, "Hey, mate," and I like slapped his hand, and he was like, "Really?" You know, and said something to like the people behind me, and I forgot who it was behind me, but it was like also Bravo talent, and I was just like, I'm not trying to do that with you, but like, even going back to the negative stuff, like I was trying to explain it to Jason, you know. It's a very different experience for me and Jason at BravoCon. And I don't know why. And maybe it's just Jason's like a 10 times more likable person, I guess. But like when people see Jason and like when talent sees Jason, and doesn't matter who it is, they love him. It's like, oh my God, Jason, and we love you and you're amazing. And then when they see me, it's like,
what did I do?
I hope you die. And I'm like, I don't know what I did that was so egregious to like warrant that sort of reaction. Like,
but this is the same thing with content creators. Can I just say that? You know, it's the same thing. They're like, they're vicious, and it's very interesting. You know, someone said on the some Bravo page, they were like, we need a content creator panel. No, we don't. You don't need to put content creators up on a panel to say what they think and fight with each other. We don't need that. That's not what we're here for. We're here to be a book club, to support the show, to support the talent, to drive conversation, to have fun conversation, which I hope you guys love, like coming here and having conversations with. But we are not above where we should be. Like, let them do their thing. You know, if there's a content creator reality show that Bravo maybe wants to produce, sure, go ahead and do that. And maybe someone would participate in that. Then you can put them on a panel. But there's no reason to have a content creator panel of really entitled, bitchy content creators. I'm not here for that. You know, because I think sometimes they drive their own narratives that are not exactly real. They can't back them up. And they drive people away from the show, or they drive people to hate people for no reason. And the whole thing is just bogus, you know?
No, I agree.
So I think like it's very careful. You have to be very careful on how you put things out.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right. So let's take like the last few questions really quick, because then after this, you guys, we are going to put together the members only live, which we are, well, not live, but members only pre-record, where you guys
will be up this weekend.
Yeah.
Because
we have to add a lot of videos.
We have a lot of content to go on top of our narration. So we're either doing it today or tomorrow. And then as soon as I can edit it together, I would say Saturday would be the best day to put it up. I know it's a little lingering from BravoCon, but I promise you'll want to see it for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. A lot of fun.
Has Tom's name changed to Pump? No, it has not.
No, it did move the Pump sign over to Tom to piss off the old landlords.
Yeah. Is the sandwich shop still open? Yes, it is.
And thriving.
Question, is Caroline Stanberry coming back to TV anytime soon? We miss her.
Let's just say yes and leave it there.
Okay. Good answer. Poor Adam, we love you. So screw them. Thanks, guys.
That's right.
I know. Like going back to the room, like sitting there and like squalling, Jason was like, get it together. And I was like, I feel like a little bitch, but I'm not used to that. Did you get to talk to Lisa Vanderpump or anyone from Vanderpump Rules? I think Jason talked to Lisa. Yeah. Okay. So we'll leave it at that. Lisa's very private, you guys. So.
Oh, and if you guys have not checked out the interview with her nephew, Sam Vanderpump, he has a podcast called Vanderpod. You can go look at it on, you can watch it on YouTube. Lisa answers every question you would ever want to know because A, that's her nephew, right?
Yeah.
And B, she did not hold back. It was I just watched it last night. It's 52 minutes. It's on YouTube. It's called Vanderpod with Sam Vanderpump, who's on Made in Chelsea. And he's an entrepreneur. He's engaged now. He has a kid coming very soon, by the way. Really good interview. Like she gets spicy.
I love that. And then last but not least, any new tea on Salt Lake City? It's the best show.
They're the best characters. Can I just say really quick?
Join members, you guys.
Join members. We'll give you that. But Salt Lake are like the best characters.
Members.
Huh? Members?
Well, did Louis approach you? I'm saying members.
Oh, members. Yeah. Yeah, Salt Lake is the best. Like everyone who they are knows who they are. So
yeah, exactly. All right, guys. Well, we're getting ready to go do the members only. So get ready for that. Like Jason said, there's a lot of editing that's going to be involved. We have a lot of videos and photos to put into it to make it a lot more interactive.
So many.
It's probably going to be a lot longer than what you guys would expect, but we're going to take you through. Mind you guys, we went there on Wednesday. We were there until Monday. We're going to guide you through every single experience, like every single interaction. I have my own. Jason has his own. We were in two separate sort of situations. So you're going to get two totally different perspectives. It's going to be a lot, but it's going to be great. And by the way, for the first time since all of the drama, we ran into Zach Peter. So we'll be talking about that as well. Guys, check it out. Smash the like button. If you guys are not subscribed, get subscribed. I did want to remind you too that if you haven't, I told you guys at the very beginning, and I wasn't joking about it, for the holidays, I know that we make it all about ourselves, but if you guys want to make the holidays about your puppies, and if you have puppies, you guys know that we have Harlow, Theo, and Pippa. Jason has tried everything for our dogs, whether it's dry food, wet food, refrigerated food, freezer food that's defrosted.
Making them food, like what the hell?
Making them food. Even I was at my mom's this morning. She was making
like you guys are not Dubai dogs,
steak.
you know? Like
my God. All I was gonna say is you guys switch to Sundays, Sundays for Dogs. You guys can go to sundaysfordogs.com/up and
They
Adam.
love it.
and
It's
you
like a
guys
treat for them. They love it.
get 50% off your first order. Sundaysfordogs.com/up and Adam. 50% off your first order. You will absolutely love it. If you don't, let me know. If your dogs don't, let me know. I have not met one customer who has had a single complaint. But yeah,
Like,
just
finally,
enjoy it.
it's not the wet food. It's not the freeze dried food. It's just like that middle ground of like a really good food,
It's the
and they love it.
perfect food. Yeah.
It's the creme de
And
la
also you guys
creme.
know too, you guys know a lot about Jason and I. We don't support anything that we don't believe in.
100%.
So-
We even bow out of ads for our podcast because we're like, that doesn't fit us. That doesn't fit our community.
Somebody offered
We
me
have
a
to-
lot
we
of
have to
money to
try
do a sex toy.
Yeah, we were offered a month. I'm sorry, maybe a month or a year salary to like promote the sex toy, but that does not fit in our community.
I mean, it was
And
a
if it
lot of
does,
money.
Keep it to the side. You know,
And I was like, I
Keep
don't
it
even know.
private.
How do I demonstrate that?
Don't. That's OnlyFans.
All right, guys. So smash the like button, show some love. Thank you so much for joining us live. We're so sorry that we weren't able to do it yesterday, but as you guys know, we got in really, really early yesterday morning, and we will be back on Friday for more. And in the meantime, we will be posting our members only sometime this week.
Members only will be Saturday.
Yeah.
Because everyone's asking if we're doing a live after this or whatever. Give us till Saturday. We have to record some stuff. I want to make it a really good edit with a great content. And
The
I want
live
to be
wouldn't do it
worth
justice
for you guys. It would not do it justice. So
No. No, I feel like the live would
yeah,
be
we'll have
rushing
that.
and we'd be answering questions, you guys. But this is like, we have a whole story to tell. So just get ready for it. It's probably going to be a longer one. It's going to be a good one. And we'll see you soon. We love you guys.
Bye. Everyone.